Hello dear chess friends, I'm International Master Andrey Ostrovskiy and you're welcome to the series of lessons dedicated to the essentials of the Queen Endgames. In this lesson, we continue discussing the cases when the Queen fights the pawn, and this lesson is dedicated to the cases when this pawn occupies the A or H file, so the Queen fights the Rook pawn. So what distinguishes this pawn from any other pawn, and why, for example, the main winning mechanism doesn't work? So why can't just do the same like in the fight against the central pawn? So let's have a look. Queen goes to b8 check, white tries to activate the queen, and after king goes to c2, let's say, the queen starts getting closer, the same way we discussed in the previous lesson. So queen a7, king goes to b2, queen b6 check, king c2, queen a5, king goes to b2, queen b4, king c2, queen a3, controlling the square on the second rank, so that forcing the king to the first rank. King goes to b1, queen goes to b3, and in order to protect the pawn, king has to blockade the on-passed pawn, right? So king goes to a1, and well, in any other case, it gives the strongest side the time to improve the position of the king. But here we can see that due to the fact we are on the edge of the board, it is already a stalemate situation. So white simply has no chance to activate the king. So to prevent the stalemate, the queen has to go away from the b file, which gives black a chance to repeat the position. So white can't make a progress, which actually means that on the move number 1 after queen b8, black can already go to a1, and it's a draw because the queen can't remain on the b file. It has to go away somewhere, after which the easiest way for black to play is just to go back and forth within b1 and a1 squares. So white can't make a progress. Does it mean that positions with the queen against the a or h pawns are simply drawish? Well, if the king far away, yes. Actually, the main condition is the pawn on the second or seventh rank, depending on the color. So it means only one step before promotion. Because if the pawn is on the third or sixth rank, well, it's a lost position because there is no stalemate idea. But the closer the king is placed, the more chances to win the game for the strongest side. So let's have a look. In this situation, white's king is much closer to the pawn, and well, it is actually close enough to ensure white's win. So here, white performs the main winning maneuver. So first of all, queen b3, of course, that is a useful check. King goes to a1, queen checks from d1 now, king goes to b2, and queen goes to d2. So this helps white to occupy the second rank. It is very, very important for the main winning pattern in such a situation. So this forces the king to the first rank, because if king goes to, let's say, b3, queen simply gets to this diagonal, stopping the pawn, and black can't prevent queen a1 move, blockading the pawn, and it is the easily winning position that we know from the previous lesson. So the king has to go to b1 after this check on the second rank. And if white keeps checking, white can't make progress. So even with the king on b5, like in this position, or even closer, it's not possible to avoid the stalemate scenario. But here we can see that, again, the drawback of the position for the strongest side, that we are on the edge of the board, at some point may become the great advantage, because opponent's pieces are seriously limited. So here, white actually gives black a chance to promote the pawn, but at the same time improves the position of his pieces dramatically. So king goes to b4, and after a1 queen, well, the only move that makes sense here for black, king goes to b3. And that is the main winning pattern that is worth remembering. So despite material is absolutely equal, the strength of the pieces is absolutely different. All right. So here, white's pieces are extremely active and black's pieces are simply completely passive. And there is no chance to prevent a checkmate. There are a lot of different checkmates. For example, queen c2, queen d1, queen e1. And what's important, in such a situation, it is not possible for black to make a move with check. So that black simply has no defense and white wins. In this position, white's king again, much closer than in the very first example. But if compared to the previous example, it's not possible to build up this main winning position. However, there is also a good square from where the black's king can be checkmated, and white can use it. So here the play is a bit different, but still everything is based on the bad position of black's pieces after promotion. So queen goes to b3 check once again, king goes to a1, and now it's just important to force the opponent to promote a pawn while limiting the activity of the king seriously. So instead of occupying the second rank here, the queen goes to this diagonal. So queen c3 check, king goes to b1, and the king comes closer. So it goes to d3, and the point is to control c2 square. By the way, black simply has no moves except for promoting the pawn. And after this promotion, queen goes to c2 with the checkmate already. So let's conclude. If the king of the strongest side is far away and the pawn is about to be promoted, so it has to make only one move to become a queen, then there is no chance to win the game because of the stalemate idea. If the king is close enough, then the strongest side can create a situation of the checkmate, like in this last example, or create the position in which the opponent has no chances to prevent the checkmate. So in both cases, it is important to give your opponent a chance to promote to queen, but to increase the power of your pieces, so to limit the activity of opponent's pieces and, well, to create this checkmate in that. It is the main winning motive. Thanks a lot for your attention.